All right, Road to Glory week 6. Big standing shakeup going into this week. We had quite a busy week last week, and we got a lot of 3-2, 2-3 teams. So the whole middle of the standings shaken up by one game. So still early, but we do have a new number one, Evan. So we got the Landers at the top, followed by Ethan, Nihil, Andrew, McGill, and I'm not in last, so take that as a win. All right, let's get into last week. Hey, my team finally scored points, so it needed to happen sooner or later. Mahomes, 331 yards, just gotta find the end zone, boy. But Jamu's carrying right now. Best fantasy receiver. Um, Kawhi came from Olave. He didn't need to do much. Basically, already had it sealed. I actually, I don't mind if it's Rattler playing QB. I think he'll get more targets. Um, Ayuk, I think Ayuk's going to be on track right now. ETN quiet game. 6 receptions though, so we'll take it. James Cook. James Cook's been killing it. Kelsey, 2 consistent weeks. Needed to keep going. Kareem Hunt, huge pickup for me. Love it. He's going to be starting for me every week. And then just okay defensive production. Miranda still put up 168. Jaden Daniels with 20. He's a demon. T. Higgins looked really good too. Jason got on the board with a TD. Rico Dowdle, dude, like I was bullshit about his touchdown. Um, what else we got? Kyle Pitts pissed me off on that Thursday night game. No way. This dude was having 7 catches. -1 from the Colts. That's your own fault. Do some research, Miranda. You know who the Colts daddy is. Um, but your defense production was actually pretty good though. Baker, Bynum, Williams. So not bad. Tyler at 25. Jets defense at 13. Evan versus Galigo. Lamar with 34. Yeah, the game was a shootout. I actually don't know how they won that game. Um, CD, little quiet game, but I mean, potential high scoring game next week against Detroit and Dallas. So this one, although Evans' team is really well rounded, he is wide receiver 2 overall right now. So I mean, it is a loss. Um, Drake London, absolute monster game. I mean, Chuba Hubbard, he's a big surprise to me. I did not think he'd be playing like this. I mean, I I honestly didn't see that coming at all. Javonte, solid week, 5 catches. Brian Thomas Jr. is a fucking demon. Younghoe Koo had a big game, 17 and a half. Linebackers had really good production. Let's see, Galigo Stroud, 17. Still put up 331 and a touchdown. Mike Evans had the 2 touchdowns right off the bat. Christian Kirk, he's doing better, but Brian Thomas definitely might be the number one right now. Judy quiet. Josh Jacobs got his first touchdown of the year. Aaron Jones is sort of week to week. It's just part of the roller coaster with him. Achan, it just seems like the Dolphins are just spiraling without some quarterback of, I don't even know. Like at least get a mediocre quarterback. Chicago at 18. Fire Dexter Lawrence. But Evans' team was too much this week. Chase Brown, right? Yeah. 16. Who'd you start at 10? Fryermuth. Fryermuth scored. Wow. Evan going atop. And then we had a game decided by 1 point. We had Jordan Love through a pick six. He had 13, 14 basically. Jettis had a good opening um to the game, and then he just kind of went quiet a little after that. Perry's been playing good though. Yeah, he's gotten going. Wicks is a bum. Kenneth Walker, what do we got? 7 receptions from Kenneth Walker is pretty damn good. And then Brian Robinson is an automatic touchdown a game. So, I mean, this was the savior right here. Tucker Craft, like, where did you even come up with Tucker Craft? What did he do the week before? Oh, he had 16. All right, so it wasn't an out of the blue. Lazard had a touchdown. Rogers loves him too. Seattle's defense was a good start. 8.5 from a D lineman's good. So defensive players are pretty good. Allen, 14. Did not see that coming against Houston. 9 for 30. Just wow, I don't even know. Metcalf was quiet. Deontay was quiet. Pittman with Flacco. I mean, I'd rather have him stay with Flacco. Kamara at 11. He had 2 chances at the end to catch passes. Uh, Tracy, wow. 14 points, 129 rush yards. Kincaid's been quiet too. Wandale's nice. Kaimi Fairbairn's good. Denver's defense could pick up Alante. Just, yeah, the receivers couldn't get it done, I guess. Just needed one more point. But Andrew, Dak got the 1 point win. So brings us to Brett and Nihil. Said it from last week's video. I didn't really understand Brett's thought process on his lineup last week. Um, Sam Darnold at 7 points. Mooney, every person I trade turns to gold. So if you accept a trade from me, they will probably go off. So Pickens was quiet. Trey Tucker, I just don't really get that. Bijan, he just I has he's not even scored yet. Oh, he has scored, but he's still waiting for that explosion week. Could be this week actually. Kyron's an automatic touchdown. Njoku, I just don't get it. Shaheed is filthy. Aubrey's the best kicker. Minnesota's the best defense. But you trade for Bowers not to start him, and then Zay Flowers isn't playing over Trey Tucker. Like, come on, Brett. Brett, don't overthink it, Brett. Don't overthink it. Um, let's see, Hill Fields, 16 points, not bad. Another quiet week from Marv. Shouldn't say another, his first one since week one. Waddle, the Dolphins are irrelevant without a quarterback. Godwin still cleared 60 yards. I actually like his matchup going into New Orleans. Um, Derrick Henry is a touchdown scorer every week. Brees Hall had 6 points. I don't even know about him. We'll talk about that trade in a couple minutes. Kittle with 20. He had a big game. What's Zach Moss avoided serious injury? Great. So Chase Brown's playing. Fuck you, Evan. TJ Watt and all right, so your linebacker's really good. But you still got the win, so Japes first, McGill, Burrow with 34, good pickup by Japes. Badger up by Brett. Tyreek 10. I just bro, like go trade for a quarterback. Like why weren't you trade? Why didn't you get Flacco or low key, like trade for Mac, low key, like he played with Waddle in college. I don't know. Maybe they'll trade for Brissett. I don't even know. Garrett Wilson at 25, 13 catches and a touchdown. Xavier Worthy had that rushing touchdown from Kelsey. James Conner's a beast. Really like James Conner. Swift has come alive these last 2 weeks. Yep. He's got a good I think he's got a good matchup next week too. Jacoby Myers got exactly his projection. JT had 13. San Fran's defense been playing pretty well. I still don't know how they lose that game. McGill, Caleb 23, 304, 2 touchdowns. Love it. Two of them went to DJ Moore. So the stack was really good there. And then it was just kind of blah after that. Diggs had 12. He will be the number one receiver going into the next couple of weeks. Mari Cooper, well, Deshaun Watson is a joke. So Jordan Mason, I mean, I think he's still really good. Just in that offense, Ferguson, 11, Butker at 14. Patriots defense played well, but Shapes just had too many high scores. Burrow, Wilson, Swift, Connor. So let's get into the trades that happened this week before I go into next week's matchups or this week's matchups, we'll say. All right, so let's see. All right, so first trade we got was Andrew giving Cam Akers and Debo to Mirando for Brian Robinson, Khalil Shakir. All right. I still think in this trade, Debo is the best player. He's got the bigger upside. His question is injuries, I will say that. Um, I just think in his offense, he has the most upside out of all the players. The next one would be Brian Robinson. He has been very good. Um, He has scored a lot, but when it comes to the upside, I just like Debo more. Cam Akers, obviously, he's just there until Mixon gets back. And Shakir, I mean, I don't think that there's anything that stands out about the Bills receiver room. Um, I also think Miranda could afford to do that trade too. So, which leads into his next one. He gave up Jonathan Taylor and T. Higgins to Hill for Kittle and Breece Hall. So, my thing about this trade is obviously I don't know if it was just because of Breece, but I think Miranda may have not trusted Kyle Pitts enough, even though he played well last week. Gets a high end tight end, which could become very useful. And then he gets Breece Hall for Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, he trusts Breece Hall more than Taylor. Taylor is injury prone. When he's healthy, he's very good. But it's that risk with the injury. Also, with the change of coaching, um, just Breece Hall's role change at all. I just feel like the Jets' offense is struggling with Rodgers. I know that Lazard and Wilson played very well last week, but when it comes to the running game, it's been non-existent. I think Breece had way more production in both passing and rushing game last year, obviously. Um, and then for Nihil, he, I think he could afford to give Kittle up because because of Goddard. I think Goddard's been playing really well. He can do enough to get you by during these weeks. Um, Although AJ and Devontae Smith are coming back, I still feel like he has a pretty decent role. And then you're also getting T. Higgins, who I think has played very well. I think he's a stud. I love that part of the trade. So now you have who do you have? Marv, Waddle, and T. Higgins. I'll have to look through who else you have. With Waddle playing the way he does, I think it was smart to get another receiver. And then if Taylor's healthy, it could be a steal. This trade could be a steal for the rest of the year. But obviously, it's going to come down to his health. So I don't think that was a bad trade. I think it was a pretty even trade for both sides. And then we have Ethan trading Japes, Joe Mixon, and Michael Pittman for Jacoby Myers and James Conner. Okay, so here's what I will say about this trade. James Conner, as of right now, in this trade, is the best player in this trade. However, if Mixon is healthy, he's in a very high scoring offense that also just lost Nico Collins. So his workload will be very apparent in the passing game, I believe. Um, and then with the way they've been running the ball, if especially after his performance in week one, he should be involved. And then if Pittman and Anthony Richardson don't mesh well. Flacco is a lot better for Pittman's game, just like Minshew was last year. I also think either either way, I'd rather have Pittman over Myers. Um, but if Mixon can stay healthy with the way that we've seen that he could be used in week one, um, it was a no-brainer. I think Jeeps could afford this trade. He gets a little bit more depth for receiver, obviously, because I'd rather have Pittman than Myers. So, and Ethan gets a healthy running back option right off the bat with Kamara. So, is what it is. Let's get into this week's matchups. All right, so I'm playing Evan. Unfortunately, I got Mahomes, Kelsey, and Kareem Hunt on a bye. So, I'm thinking about rolling with Purdy. Um, Obviously, I looked at Baker. I just don't like anytime the Bucks play in New Orleans. Even though I still think they're gonna win, but you never know. Goff's playing Dallas, which was another option, but I think I trust Purdy's receivers, and I'm hoping that maybe the scoring could be a little high. Um, we got Jamar against the Giants. Love that. Olave against Tampa Bay. No Derek Carr, but he gets Rattler, right? I don't actually mind that. They played very well in the preseason, and I just think that Rattler is gonna look for him more than Shaheed, and obviously Kamara's gonna get his share. Then Ayuk after last week, love it. ETN, not sure yet. Um, he's still been pretty involved in the passing game, and James Cook didn't practice. What the fuck is this? What toe? All right, I still have Pollard, so Conklin, I gotta go with whoever I think for Kelsey since he's out. Ugh. Pollard versus Indy, I like that. And then I just picked up Philly's defense because Deshaun Watson's a bum. But if anyone's out, I'll have to move Pollard in, and then I'll go with Tank Dell because Nico's out, so why not? Evans got Lamar against Washington. That could be potential shootout. Not a fan of that. Same with CD against Detroit. Not a fan of that. Their secondary is probably their worst part of their team right now. We have Drake London playing Carolina. Hopefully they get ahead and they just run the ball with Bijan, but I don't know. Division games are always close. Brian Thomas, second best receiver in the league right now. Don't care. He's a stud. Chuba. I mean, man, the fact that I have to worry about Chuba, bro, like, oh my God. We already know David Montgomery scoring. He scores every week. Might as well bet on that. And then McBride, how's he been doing? Could be better. He'll probably score because he's playing me. And then Chase Brown is in for, yeah, Nico. And then Evans got Houston's defense playing the Patriots. Drake May's first start. Obviously going with Evan. Miranda versus Andrew. Jaden Daniels against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense is tough, but last week they showed that they can be scored on. Could be a shootout. I like Jaden Reed versus Arizona. Devontae Smith is back. Um, it's a high-end wide receiver too, that's for sure. And then Debo versus Seattle. Doesn't matter who they play. I like Gibbs. Breece Hall against Buffalo. Kittle against Seattle. So Samuel and Kittle. And then Rico Dowdle versus Detroit. So who are you? JSN. Okay. Jordan Love versus Arizona is a good matchup for him. Terry just needed to be high scoring. He can do his thing. Lazard against Buffalo, he'll probably catch a touchdown. I'm not a fan of how Shakir, 0 points from Shakir last week. Kenneth Walker versus San Fran. be tough. I actually hope that game's higher scoring. Then Brian Robinson's going to score a touchdown because he's like Montgomery and Henry. They just score every week. Tucker Kraft and Evan Ingram's questionable. Will he play? Probably not. Go Mirando. Take Mirando this week. Julio versus Nihil. Also, matchup of the week is going to be Ethan versus Japes. Second versus third. Stroud at New England. No Nico. Shouldn't matter. See, this is Mike Evans. Mike Evans always struggles versus Lattimore. It's always been that thing, which is why I do like Chris Godwin this week. Um, Looks like we could have AJ Brown back. Eagles need him. Christian Kirk against Chicago. I do like Jacobs against Arizona. Singletary's questionable. Trending in the right direction. Obviously, Aaron Jones is probably out. Freiermuth and JMO. So sitting Mark Andrews, no Achane, no Aaron Jones, they're on a bye. And it looks like Devontae Adams is out again. All right, so Nihil. Fields at Vegas. Like that matchup for him. Marvin Harrison's probably going to see a lot of Jair. Um, I love Godwin, Ian T. Higgins, and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry could go off again. Um, so what's the word on JT? Not practicing to begin the week, so could be trending down. We got Goddard, Zach Moss. So Waddle's on a bye. Obviously, you got the handcuffs, so if Taylor's out, you'll just plug Sermon in. He had what, like 18 last week? 17. I'm going Nihil this week. Brett versus McGill. Here we go with Brett. Hasn't set his lineup yet for me. Thanks a lot, you jerk. Let's see. So Darnold's on a bye. I don't know who Brett's gonna go with. He could go with Goff. He could go with Baker. Trey Tucker. I don't see him being started. So Neighbors will probably go in. Kyron's on a bye. So Flowers, I like Flowers. Shaheed, we'll see what happens with Rattler. I don't really know where that's gonna go. I do think this could be the Bijan game that Brett's been waiting for. Ramondre is gonna get Drake May this week, but it looks like he's out. Not out, but he's not at practice. And then Brock Bowers versus Pittsburgh, which I like, and Mooney. Brett's got a lot of buys. So McGill playing Jacksonville in London. It's a good matchup for him. Their secondary's awful. So, and you have DJ Moore. So Diggs will become the number one. He'll have Gonzalez on him. We'll see how that goes. Amari Cooper is playing with a bum quarterback. He needs to be traded. Um, I like Jordan Mason. I like both your running backs this week. Tank Bigsby, with the way he's been running, it's a good start, I think. Tampa Bay against New Orleans, smart. Josh Downs, interesting. So Brett, what do I think Brett's gonna do? Either be Baker or Goff. Say Flowers. He's gonna put Neighbors in. I'll just go with Miguel. We'll go with Miguel. Brings us to our matchup of the week. Ethan versus Japes. The Josh against the Jets. Doesn't really play well there. and it's a primetime game. Metcalf, I like Metcalf. I like Deontay. Though he probably will have AJ Terrell. I St. Brown, love that. Love the running back matchups. Kincaid, I don't know. I just thought he'd be playing a lot better this year. Wandale, he's been really good this year, so I like him. Denver against the Chargers. Chiefs got Hurts. I like Hurts. Like Garrett Wilson. Like Pittman, especially Flacco's playing. Ray McLeod. Who do you got? Oh, Worthy and Hill. Okay, and Cup. All right. It's not bad. He gets some return points too. Yeah. So Dobbins is back off the bye. I like him. Swift has been playing his ass. Yeah, Swift's been playing his ass off, so I like that against Jacksonville. Laporta just hasn't done much this year. Doesn't make any sense to me. Mixon isn't practicing, so could be Cam Akers again. So what do we got? It's actually a good matchup. I'm gonna go with Ethan just because I don't like that Jeeps has Tyreek out, even though he hasn't done much. Worthy, I think, is huge. Obviously, no cup. All right, so let's get into points. Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Baker, Burrow, Allen, Gino, Kyler, Dak, wide receivers. We got Jamar, Nico, Jefferson, Neighbors, Reed, Godwin, Shaheed, London, Diggs, Evans, Brian Thomas. We got Kamara, King Henry, Kyron, Saquon, Mason Cook, Hubbard, Jones, Robinson, Connor, Charbonnet. Interesting. We got Kittle taking over first now. Bowers, Kraft, Likely, Goddard, Freiermuth, Kmet, Kelsey. Best kicker is Aubrey still, yep. Followed by Kaimi. Defense should be Minnesota. Followed by Denver, Chicago, Green Bay. DBs. Nick Cross, Paulson Debo, Buda Baker, Alontae Taylor, Jalen Jones. Bosa, Hutchinson, Keon White, Mad Max. Okay. Linebackers, Fred Warner, Robert Spillane, Dorian Williams, Kendrick Speed, Troy Anderson, Bobby Wagner. All right, that looks like it's gonna do it. So week 6 in. See how the standings go. We'll see if we get any more wacky trades this week. But good luck, and we'll see you next week.